Do you ever hanker to go back to music?
Not a great deal. I must say that every once in a while I will listen to some music and say to Harriet, I kind of miss the connection with it. Mm-hmm. Of course, when Ricky was very young, when he was in his teens, I more or less got brainwashed as far as rock music was concerned. Mm-hmm. And
are you thoroughly brainwashed now about rock music?
Yes, if it's good. Mm-hmm. If it's good. I like any kind of music. I like anything from Dixieland to any type of music at all, as long as it's well played. Mm-hmm. But I think sometimes those of us in my generation have a tendency to take the best of the music of my vintage and compare it to the worst of today's music, which is not fair. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of bad music played then, there's a lot of bad music played now, but there's also a lot of absolutely fabulous music played now. I don't know where this great musicianship is coming from, but I know on New Year's Eve, Harriet and I spent our usual exciting New Year's while sitting back and watching television, you know, because I don't, nobody, yeah, we do. I don't think anybody, you know, you can't win on New Year's Eve. If you go out, you wish you'd stayed home and vice versa. And I know, I don't even know the name of the group, but there was Guy Lombardo playing on one of the stations, and on the other station there was a fantastic rock group playing with just fabulous musicianship, and it was really thrilling to hear. So I still enjoy Lawrence Welk when he's playing certain things, and not all of it, but I enjoy any kind of music that is well played.
How do you feel about the trends with today's young people? You have some of your own, of course, and they have some of their own now.
Yes.
They're viewed toward anti-establishment. They're kind of anti-intellectual, pro-sensory experience. How do you feel about those things?
Well, I think it all levels off, and I think, for instance, the so-called hippie syndrome, I think if it hadn't been picked up by the press and by newspapers and magazines and television, I think would have died its natural death. And I think that they discovered, like every generation discovers, that if there are 5 people and you've got food for 5 people, if 10 sit down at the table, somebody's got to bring in some food, or 5 don't eat. And I think that, however, that the hippie syndrome, as an example of something from the young people, that the hippie syndrome did us all a lot of good, because I think that many of us were so oriented toward business type of success that we began to realize that maybe there is more to life than just this striving, and maybe we should enjoy some of the things that we have. And I think that that was an extreme, and I think the same as the destruction that took place on the campus, I think, reflected the thinking of a very few people. But I think sometimes even those things work out to the ultimate good. And I do think that young people are aiming toward honesty and integrity. The only thing I resent is when they claim that they invented it, because you know, I think integrity has been around for a long, long time. It's just that, unfortunately, in many high places, we don't find it. And I think it's all leveling. I think we can learn a lot from young people, and I think they can learn a lot from us. And one of the things when we stopped doing our show that Harriet and I missed tremendously was the rapport that we developed with young people because of doing our show.
You felt you had that rapport with them?
I rather, of course, I don't think that, I think it's ridiculous. I think the person in my age group who has long hair and tries to act like a young person, this, to my mind, you know, is something that I can't understand. I think you can have rapport and still you can be an older person and that person can be a younger person. I mean rapport in the best possible way. You're not a pal, you are an older person, but that person respects your rights to think the way you want, and you respect your right, his right to think as he wants, as long as neither one interferes with the other person's right to do the same thing.